Homeless with handguns. From age 22 to a few months before my 24th birthday, I lived without a home in northeast Tennessee. I'm doing better now, but I eventually got another job and got back on my feet, but boy, Tennessee backcountry is not a fun place to be homeless. I lost my home initially because my roommate got busted for pot. I didn't smoke it, but because I lived there, I was caught up in it all. I served 3 months in the county jail. By the time I got out, I had been evicted. My landlord was kind enough to store my things in the storage unit, but I had to get them all out immediately. Since I had nowhere to live and nowhere to put it all, no family to drop back on, I just sold it all off. Most of it went in a yard sale type thing I did at the storage place. The rest went to pawn shops. The only things I kept were clothes, a big tarp, my Glock knife, and my guns. I only had 2, pick related, and an old Winchester 37 break action 20 gauge that was my grandmother's. Anybody want to hear my stories? I feel like I lived a fairly K experience without being military. Ask me anything. I am not, luckily. Tennessee has very good gun laws. As long as you aren't a violent felon, you should be good. I was really surprised they were still there. I had them both locked in an old changing room style locker that I got at the flea market. I guess they never went through the paperwork to get a warrant to open it, since I was not the one who was getting in real trouble. Basically, my roommate bought a bag of weed in the presence of an undercover, and they served him a warrant. I got one too, since I was inhabiting a structure in which drugs were kept or sold. But I passed every drug test, and told the truth through the whole thing. Yeah, I kinda threw my roommate under the bus a little, but we both agreed when we moved in that if he got caught with that shit, it was 100% on him, and I was going to look out for my own ass. So, yeah, got off really easy, I think. Anyway, here is a story from my first night. It's 2 to 3 a.m. I am sleeping outside the storage unit place. It's on a little 1-lane road, because almost all the roads here are 1 lane, besides the main road for town. It was a clear night and I was not worried about rain, so I pitched my tarp over the drain ditch by the road and tried to get some sleep. I was just kind of laying there, on a makeshift bed of clothes, with my duffel acting as a pillow. I'm reflecting, bad feels, and miss my grams. Something walks over my tarp on the side bordering the road. Whatever, just keep walking, man. I see a guy, really skinny. He's wearing shitty dirty jeans and a wife beater. Meth or crack, you decide. Hey buddy. Hey buddy, under the tarp, hello? What, bro? Come out and talk to me for a second. I want to ask you something. Nah, I'm trying to sleep. You smoke? Nope. I mean the good shit. I don't smoke anything, except those Marlboros. At this point, I'm gripping the Glock knife. I am wishing I had bullets. I forgot to mention, my bullets weren't there when my landlord was cleaning my shit out. Well, let me come under there and smoke real quick. I'll give you some. Oh my fuck. I don't want any, just leave me alone, man. I gotta get some sleep. That's fucked up, bro. I'd let you smoke in my tent. Please, it'll be real quick. He is walking toward the tent. I can't really stand up without wearing the tent like an umbrella pole. I scramble backwards, away from him, but out from under the tarp. I stand up. I probably look ridiculous, all wild hair, covered in wet grass. My knife is in my hand, but by my side. It's dark. The blade is black, and I don't think he sees it. He does something I did not expect. He just goes right under my tarp, like he doesn't even see me. I am pissed. That is my goddamn tarp hut, you inbred fuck. I inform him of this. What, man? He yells. Stupid fuck stands right up. The tarp drapes around him like a sheet ghost. I advance toward him and grab the tarp. He steps back and grabs the other end of my tarp. Engaged tug of war. He is losing. The guy is a skeleton, and I've still got all of my weight on me. He reaches behind him. What are you? Pop, pop, pop. He says fuck you and calls me the N-word. Seriously, he called me the N-word and I'm white. He turns around, takes off running. I am on the ground convulsing. I'm like almost seizure level shaking. I'm just kind of staring at the sky, every muscle in my body spasming. I think I've just been shot. Now I die. I go black. I wake up. I'm fine. The tarp is fine. Everything is there. I find a .22 casing on the ground. Son of a bitch tried to pop me with a .22 auto of some kind. So, that was my first night homeless, you guys. So after I sold off my shit, I had pretty much already decided I was not going to try for a hotel. I had gotten about $700 total. I was already poor before I was homeless, hence the tourist. I knew that would only get me a few nights at a hotel, and they were all in the city anyway, a good hour's drive from town. I decided to hit up Walmart and stock up on some supplies. I got a little pop-up tent, a few packs of Bic lighters, ramen noodles, protein powder, etc. Of course, I also got a box of Blazer .45s and one of those turkey hunting utility belt things with the big drawstring pouch and a fanny pack. I got a box of birdshot .20 gauge for hunting, but I also had a big plastic bag of old ass shells from Graham's. Most of them were cardboard instead of plastic, probably from the 70s onwards. A nice mix of birdshot, buck and slugs that she had collected over the years. Shells were probably the only resource I was not concerned about. So anyway, now I'm all geared up. I got my big milsurp duffel of clothes, my crazy ass redneck utility belt, and the stank of a man who has not showered in over a week. I was in a deeply stressed state of mind for obvious reasons. I wanted to just relax, finally, for a whole day. My feet hurt and I was hungry. I walked from Walmart to the street that I grew up on. We had a nice house on 2.5 acres. The backyard ended and it was just woods and mountains from up there. It also had a creek, and I knew from childhood exploration that you can follow it up the mountain to a nice little waterfall with a big rock overhang. The perfect spot for today. A secret fortress of solitude that surely I could be left alone to eat some goddamn ramen noodles in peace. Green text will follow. I thought this would be way better to explain how I ended up there and with what. Incognito holster. Fast forward to waterfall. I am probably 2 to 3 miles up the mountain. It's probably about 5 o'clock in the evening, but I did not think to buy a watch, and after my phone died, I had no reliable source of time. Fuck it though. It's unbearably hot, middle of July in Tennessee. Very humid, just sticky and awful. I set up my little tent, chop some dryish wood up with my $8 Walmart hatchet. I grab a tactical bar of Irish Spring. I hop in the water. It's about chest height where the waterfall hits the creek. Feels very good, man. Nice and cool. Soap smells awesome. I finally feel human. I boil up a fresh batch of ramen. Talking 2 packs probably. I feel like a king. It's funny. I genuinely remember this fondly. I felt amazing. The broth was hot and salty and nourishing. Best meal of my life. Night falls. This time, if anybody sneaks up on me, I've got buckshot for him. I'm confident, cozy. I start drifting to sleep, listening to the fire. I am awoken by a loud splash. I didn't really recognize at first that that's what I heard. Just a vague noise in the night. I had my eyes open, looking out the mesh of the tent. Something big moves in the darkness. The fire is out now, but my eyes adjust well to the dark, so I could see alright. I can't make it out. It's turning around. I can hear it snorting and huffing, and it's big. If you spend time in the woods, you've probably already guessed. A large black bear is drinking out of the creek. I suddenly understand why everybody says not to make camp too close to the stream. I am white-knuckled on my shotgun. I'm doubting if a 20 gauge shot shell would do fucking anything to this guy. I quietly get my .45 out from my turkey holster. I have no actual idea what I'm gonna do, but I know that black bears aren't generally aggressive. I've seen them before. I have always been an avid camper. The way my luck have been lately though, I was not taking any chances. So the bear has turned around now, and he's sniffing. He is sniffing hard. The only food I had was ramen noodles in the packet. I burned the trash from the ones I ate, and washed my pot in the sink. Feeling a bit confident now, I slowly sit up into a low squat, my head touching the top of the tent. I aim my .45. My logic was I would rather have 8 shots that probably won't do anything, than 1 shot that also probably won't do anything. My plan is, if it tried to get in, or puts his face at the mesh, to just unload on him and tactically shit my pants and hope for the best. I bare my soul to Valhalla. Heh. He is getting closer to the camp when I see the grave mistake that I made. My fucking bowl and fork are sitting there like unwashed peasants. God fucking damn it and on. He is intrigued. He starts licking the bowl. He follows the scent. He comes right up to my tent. Alright and on, get ready. My finger is on the trigger. I am shitting cinder blocks. He sniffs the ground in front of the mesh, and I am psyching myself up, saying, if he touches the mesh, fire. If he touches the mesh, fire. Just over and over. He sees me, and I see him seeing me. We look at each other for what seems like a long time. He was tense, and so was I. Neither of us knew what to do, I think. I could see his sides expanding with heavy breath. They say black bears aren't very big, but when you're one dude in a little pup tent, looking one in the eyes, it seems pretty fucking huge. I'm imagining how big its claws are. Probably comically bigger than in reality. The tension is getting to me. There was sweat in my eyes. I just want something to happen. I summon every ounce of courage in my body and let loose a thundering battle cry. Go on. He fucking backs up and fucks off. I hear him crashing away for a good 3 to 4 minutes. This would not be the last time I encountered Sir Berenstain. Ayt. And for the guy that asked, I got a job by befriending a cashier at the convenience store I bought shit from. He let me use his address on my applications and clean up in the store bathroom before interviews. He really got me out of a huge jam. Can't thank him enough. Gas station cashiers are bros. So, I liked the waterfall spot, regardless of my bear encounter. I spent 4 days straight there, just shooting squirrels and living off of squirrel ramen stew. I even caught a rabbit. One afternoon, I also caught about a dozen crawdads out of the creek and boiled them up. They were pretty good with the Frank's Red Hot that I bought from Walmart. I didn't really have a plan at this point, and I was in a very, let's say, primal state of mind. All of my thoughts were about my next meal, if the firewood was getting low, this sort of thing. I drank straight from the spring where the creek originates from. It was nice and cold all the time, and very clean. This is in the Cherokee National Forest, or I guess more accurately, just outside of it. So I'm going on like this, and I am scouting out other good spots I can use, so I'm not in the same place all the time and risk capture. I should mention, I am extremely paranoid at this point. I have not had an actual, real conversation with literally anybody since I got out of jail. Still didn't miss county lockup though. General pop full of redneck shit kickers and freaks. I find a thicket, a circle of dogwood trees with an empty center. It looked perfect, very discreet. I wasn't sure if I was on somebody's land or not, so discretion was key. I did not want to venture far from a good water source like the spring. I decided to stay there for the night to try it out. I set up my tent, scrape out a little fire pit. I didn't think about needing a digging tool, so I would use my hatchet to sort of dredge it out. As the sun is setting, I'm boiling the collected bones of my small game into a broth. Might as well top chef this shit. I'm almost out of ramen. I'm dreading hiking back to civilization, back to all of their judgmental faces. Get a job, get a life, yeah. Before I left town, I had been out barely a week, and people could already tell. This being the small town that it is, lots of people know who I am. I imagine, over and over, all the conversations everybody back there must be having, but probably weren't, about me. The stress and loneliness had started turning to a bitter anger. I had been using a string of beer/soup cans I'd collected from farther down the mountain as a makeshift alarm. String it up around my pup, then cuddle in with my shotgun and add the meat and wild onions to the broth. Smells good, man. I eat, meditate, and sleep. Wink wink. I wake up feeling unusually rested. I perform my morning ritual of stretching and drinking cool water from a jug. As I'm stretching, I bend my back deeply and look up, really up for the first time. I had not noticed it the day before, or it wasn't there the day before, but there was a very thick, very dense net of spider webs about 4 feet up from my head. I had a pet tarantula once, and that fucker hated me, and I hated him. Fuck spiders. Still, this seemed like a really good spot. I wasn't about to let these cretins take that away from me. These are my trees now, goddammit. I am the apex predator. I gathered my fangs and piled it all up outside the ring of trees. I got a stick and stuffed a bunch of dry leaves into a sock and stretched the sock around the top. I taped it shut and boom, the world's dumbest torch. I squirt lighter fluid into/onto the bottom layer of webs. I hose down my torch. I commence the purge. I light the torch. A part of me hopes this stupid thing I'm doing will just engulf me in flaming spiders and I die. Graham did not raise no quitter though. I full-on Spartan charged into the trees and heaved my mighty torch. The whole thing goes up in flames. It falls down, expectedly. However, I had not counted on it falling on me. I had not thought this through. My mind was in a reckless state. So I am swatched in burning spiderweb. This is not what I wanted after all. I stumble out of the trees. I stop, drop, and roll. Luckily, the web burned up really quickly. My shirt was pretty blackened, and I could smell burning hair, but I was okay. Pretty fucking burnt though. More on that later. I look back into the trees, and everything is gone. The webs had burned up and luckily had not caught anything else. I wasn't that worried I would burn down the forest, since it is so humid and everything is so green, but still, I was glad. I notice everything is quiet, and my stomach just drops. I write it off as paranoia. What, did I anger some spider witch? No, I was going crazy is all. Still, I felt really uneasy, like I should not have destroyed the web. Fuck it. Rule of the jungle. I shall now claim my prize and set up camp again. Tomorrow, I will go into town and blow my last $50. Night falls. I'm just chilling, drinking some reheated broth, wishing I had a book or something, anything to do. You don't think having to rough it can get boring, but once night falls and there's nothing more that can be done, you're just alone with your thoughts. So I'm reclined back on a log. Fire is crackling and everything seems well. I'm listening to the crickets and they stop. I am half asleep, pretty relaxed, but I'm on edge enough that it sets me off immediately. I grab my shotgun, which is basically a reflex at this point. I keep it loaded with a slug now. Feels safer than the book. Footsteps. I hear footsteps. Regular ones though. Like the person was not trying to sneak up on me or anything. I wondered how well the fire was showing through the tree line. I knew I was probably trespassing, so I was worried about that. People will absolutely shoot you for being on their land around here, and they will get away with it. No fucks are generally given when it comes to these good old boys. He walks right up for the tree line. I probably look like a ghost because I was genuinely afraid. He could be the police. He could be a serial killer or a junkie. Anybody. It's a pretty well-dressed guy, and I mean in the blue-collar sense. He's probably in his mid to late 50s. Really short cropped grey hair under a brown ball cap. Short-sleeved, blue plaid shirt under a shooting vest. The kind with the big leather pad on the shoulder/chest. Carhartt jeans. Clean. New-looking working boots. I'm just stupefied. I've got my shotgun in my lap, but I am not touching it. I had instinctively raised my hands up in case it was a cop. Who the hell are you? Do you have permission to be here? He is shouting, but he asked if I had permission to be here, so I guessed he was not the landowner. Maybe a friend or a neighbor or something. No, I'm sorry, I'll go. I don't want trouble. Now, at this point, I realize he is not carrying a flashlight, and I never saw the light for the trees. I start to stand up, not thinking about it. I grab my shotgun as I stood to leave. Whoa, 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 the guy screams. He's got that cop tone of voice, you know the one. He's yelled that a lot before, and I could tell. So, a cop. Where is his uniform? What is he doing out here? He draws a compact Glock from IWB. He points it right at me, finger on the trigger. I have been to jail. I am not fucking with weird cops. I drop the shotgun and raise my hands. Don't shoot. I just want to go. Please let me go. My voice is cracking and raspy. I have not used it in some time now. Just wait right there, buddy. I want to talk to you. How long have you been in this area? Only tonight. I don't have a place to live right now, so I'm camping. I thought this was national forest. I lied. So did you tear down that web? That was not yours to destroy. Tell me who the fuck you think you are. This guy is red in the face. He is fucking mad and I am scared. I am going to get shot for real this time. I know it. Nah, man, I swear. There were no webs when I got here. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, mister, do you know that those were a protected species? That's right. I can have you thrown in prison for the rest of your life, buddy. I'm thinking, what the fuck? Something is not right here. I didn't even see a single spider in that web. And this guy's just walking out here with no light in the middle of the night to check on them in plain clothes. What the fuck? Man, I told you I don't know nothing about no damn webs. Can I please just go, please? He studies me for a moment and looks back behind him. He turns back around and his face is not red anymore. You aren't going anywhere, pal. Take a seat while I call for backup. Do not move. He waits for me to sit on the far side of the fire, opposite of my tent and my gun. He doesn't know my fanny pack of justice holds a .45 caliber freedom. So I'm sitting there, wondering what I should do. Do I try to run? Draw on him? What if he really is a cop? And speaking of which, he has not once identified himself as anything. So with all due respect, can I ask who you are, sir? He looks at me with a strange contempt, like I was a cockroach that crawled on his breakfast. Right now I am detaining you. Just sit still and do not ask questions. He makes a short phone call with one of those big sat phones, which makes no sense to me, because where we are, he should still have cell signal. He sits down on my log and unloads my shotgun. Do you have any other weapon? Just my knife and my hatchet. Knife is in the tent. Hatchet is beside you in the grass there. Alright, son. So what did you say you were doing out here again? Give him the whole story again, about needing a place to stay and not knowing I was anywhere important. I get ballsy. So, what's up with these spiders? Pretty rare, huh? He looks down, into the fire. He does not answer. So, you got backup coming? Is it a chopper or an ATV or something? Something. Shut up. Want your soup? Yes, please. He brings the pot over to me and sits it in front of me. No spoon. I don't bother asking. Thanks, I guess. I guess about half an hour goes by. I'm getting antsy. Guy seems totally calm now. He's just looking up at the tree line constantly, looking all around. For the spiders? Maybe. I don't know. After a while, he stands up. He walks left of the tent to the tree line, opposite the way he came in, and starts looking around, craning his neck and his back. When his vest goes up, I see that he's got mace, cuffs, and an extra mag all side by side on his lower back. Shit. He whistles into the darkness and waves to come forward. Oh Lord in heaven, what do you have in store for me now? A shorter, chubby little guy comes out of the trees. He is dressed just like the first guy, only his hat has a forestry service patch, and his shirt is white with long sleeves. Same vest and jeans though. This relaxes me a little. Maybe it's just a weird sort of uniform. The patch makes me feel better. He looked official. He had a short goatee and was wearing a full-size Glock on a gun belt. He had what looked like a Remington 700 slung around the shoulder, on his back. So, he tore down the web? Yeah, I think so. That guy? He points at me. That's the one. Why would he do that? He looks at me. Why would you do that? I didn't. They were gone when I got here. Alright, smart guy. Where is it? Huh? The web. Where is the web? I told you, I don't know. Look, can I just leave? Please? I really just want to leave. I am freaking the fuck out. This is really wrong. Why don't either of them have flashlights? The little guy turns to the big guy and says, Alright, keep him here until they build a new one, just to be safe. I really don't want to do that. Just do it, alright? Work with me, Andy. Well, alright, you got it, buddy. The short guy just walks off with that. I am so confused. Did I accidentally eat some kind of brain parasite and I'm tripping nuts right now? What the fuck is wrong with these guys? At this point, I am fed up with this situation. As soon as Andy turns his back, I am splitting. I can come back for my stuff later, but that shit is not worth my life. So we're sitting there, and he is feeding the fire. I think he was trying to get it as bright as possible in there. As the light grows, I can see him better, and the facade starts coming apart. I see stubble. I see bloodshot eyes with heavy bags. I see mud and dirt on his clothes. This definitely is not okay. I wait for my chance, for him to crane his neck up again and check the tree line like he has been doing. I see my chance and I fucking book it. I leap up as quickly as I can and ran in a random direction. I thought I was being sneaky, like it would make it harder for him to follow me. I am sprinting downhill, through the bramble and briars. My burns from the web are killing me, but I don't stop. I've got my .45 out, just running blind for the dark. I don't hear him behind me anymore when I hit water. Good. The creek. I know the creek. I know this area. I grew up here. I follow it down. I know if I keep following it, there is a cabin my old neighbors used to own. I don't know if anybody owned it now, but fuck it. Either it would be an empty place to hole up, or there would be people there that might help, or at least serve as witnesses and de-escalate the situation. I reach the cabin. The windows are black, but there is a beat-up Jeep Wrangler in the dirt driveway, branching off from the access road. I knock loudly. I knock again. Nothing. I made the tactical decision to break in. Maybe not that smart of an idea, but I was desperate. I kicked the door, right below the handle, with everything I had. I had to kick it 3 or 4 times for it to finally cave in. I go in and search for a light switch. Nothing. No power. Figures. It's just on a generator. Nobody must be staying here right now. I get my cheap little plastic flashlight out of my turkey belt and scan the room. I was wrong. Mats on the floor. Cans of food open and laying around. Some old shoes. Some old pants. Some old shirts. A map. Shotgun shells. A radio. A forestry service badge. Newspapers with old brown blood on them. A rusty knife. Propane tanks. 2-liter bottles. Aluminum foil. Empty boxes of Sudafed. What in the living fuck have I gotten myself into? Now, this is not one of those cliche stories where I stay the night in the cabin anyway. I have an inkling of an idea of what's going on. Meth heads I can deal with. Meth heads are something I understand pretty well. I tried the radio. Obviously nothing. Dead power source. I know there is a deer stand near the cabin, so I head there. I climb up. The old wooden slats nailed into the tree feel like they are going to give way. I sit up in the stand, and I wait. I was not going to leave my shit, but I sure as fuck was not going back there right now. So I wait. I am in the tree probably 1 or 2 hours. By now, the sky is turning that deep blue that signals morning soon. The crickets are once again silenced by stomping feet. Again, no lights, but my eyes are well adjusted and I can see them. It's the 2 guys. They are walking to the cabin. I just don't get it. Who would knock down those spiders like that? Those are our fucking spiders, Andy. I know. You just can't trust people anymore. Everybody is bad. That's why we have to live up here like this. Because you can't trust anybody. Anybody. The world is in a sad state, I'm telling you. You know the liberals would have us all in gulags, and the Republicans can't get anything done anymore. It's all just a mess. The guys are tweaked out on meth, talking like somebody's uncle at a barbershop. They go inside and I see a light come on. Probably a lantern, judging by the number of windows it lit up. I knew they were tucked in for the night, probably getting whacked out of their heads. I sneak down the stand and tiptoe back to the creek where the water will cover my sounds. I head back to the trees. My tent is stomped on and all of my shit is rummaged through. My socks are gone and obviously my shotgun too. My knife was still there though, and my food. Oh boy, gotta get my shotgun back. I decide fuck sleeping. I am so goddamn sick of everybody fucking me over. Everybody trying to take my shit, or hurt me, or lock me up. I decided then and there that if I had to kill those men to get my shit back, then that is what I will do. The common Tennessee meth head is much like a vampire. They must sleep through to build strength for a long night of tweaking and thieving. I do my best solid snake impression back to the cabin and peek in the windows from a little ways up the hill. I can see them in there, just sitting on the floor. Both of their mouths are just jabbering, like they are both having conversations with different, invisible people. I go in a little closer. I can see my socks, covered in paint, with cans on the floor around them. I watch them from the windows, pistol in hand. Eventually, they look like they have passed out. I can make my move now. I go to the door. They had scooted a chair against it to keep it shut after I kicked it in. It made a loud noise. They did not move. Situational awareness is not a known trait of the junkie. I take 4 seconds looking around the room. It's a 2-room cabin, so it's mostly just one big area. I see Graham's shotgun. Did they hurt you? I weep for you, Gam Gam. I check the tube. The shell is loaded. Where are the rest? I am looking around, shotgun low ready. I am checking the kitchen cabinets when I hear one of them move. I whip around. I see him seeing me. We both kinda jump. I raise Gam shotgun. Sputter out. Don't. It's more of a gasp than a shout. He looks scared. He is just standing there, arms out. Chubby guy still passed out on the floor. His expression gives me courage. Finally, I have the upper hand now. Don't fucking move, man. I should kill you. Don't you dare fucking move. Where is my shit? I just want my shit and I'll leave, etc. I am hyped as fuck on adrenaline. I have never in my life held a gun on somebody. It's a situation I never once thought I would ever be in. For a moment I felt my gut clench. It was really weird and totally surreal. How did I get here? What the fuck is all this insanity? A month ago, I had an apartment and a job, and now I am strong-arm robbing a meth head. What? What? He just kept asking. What? He looks bewildered as fuck. He was probably still feeling that shake and bake meth and spray paint combo. Chubby guy is stirring up. He gets up, but he gets up way too fast for my state of panic. I point and fire a Gam shotgun. I didn't hit him, and I wasn't really trying to deep down. In my head, it felt like I did, but I do remember a part of me being glad I had not shot him. Hole in the floor. Chubby dude is back against the wall, stretched out with this rock-solid expression of shock. It was like a cartoon almost. You ever ride a roller coaster, and it takes a picture of you at a certain point, everybody's face. It was like that, but just stiff and motionless, like a statue. That face has stuck with me ever since. Older guy's against the wall too, but he's mumbling really fast and low. Something about how he's diabetic and he needs insulin, and something else about chemical attack at the base and having to fall back to the cabin for shelter. What the fuck? My ears are ringing. That was another first. Firing a gun while indoors. I am convinced this permanently damaged my hearing. I never used to have to ask people to repeat themselves, but I do it now constantly. My head is just swimming. It felt like I had a migraine. My eyes seemed like they were popping out of my head. I hold the shotty in my left hand. I draw a .45 in my right. I step around their bedding areas and look for weapons, then keep looking for my shells. I picked up his gun belt with that nice Glock, but then I dropped it immediately. Fingerprints. Fingerprints. These guys obviously were not forestry servicemen. My guess is they stole the shit from a forestry outpost, station, whatever. Or they actually robbed some servicemen. If they had robbed them and were still there, they ever just did it and the gauntlet has not come down yet. Or they killed them and nobody knew. Either way, it was some seriously fucked up business. While keeping my .45 pointed towards them, I immediately stamp on the part of the gun belt where my fingerprints have been and rubbed it onto the floor mat. What? The meth head ass one more time. This takes me by surprise, and I ND into the wall between them, scaring the shit out of both of them. I try to play it off as a warning shot. I demand they cut the shit and tell me what the fuck their deal is with that spiderweb, and let them know I torched the whole fucking thing, because this is my forest. The walls are closing in. I don't know how long I have until one of them tries something. I quickly check the other room and find my bag of shells and some of my socks. As I'm leaving, I figure I should probably fuck with them a little bit. You just robbed an undercover FBI agent, pal. I am coming back, and I won't be alone, you dumb motherfucker. I duck the fuck out. I followed the creek some more, this time farther up the mountain than I'd ever gone. I found some bushes, covered myself with branches, and passed out. I was exhausted, slept throughout the day and the preceding night. The spring did not seem as safe anymore, but there are creeks everywhere through here. I stuck with them for a long while, but I always stayed far the fuck away from the road unless I was going into town. This anon has enough posts for like 2 more videos, so if you want them, just comment down below and I will cover them. And if you think he's a LARPing moron and you don't want to hear more, then, I understand. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the stories. The goal for the channel is 100k, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment because it really helps the channel. Thank you for watching.